It's been a long 2 months as we've waited for any news about what's going to happen to our beloved series. But yesterday, our patience was rewarded as we got the announcement that RWBY has found a new home with VIZ Media. Probably the best news that we possibly could have hoped for. VIZ Media, for those of you who don't know, is a titan in the anime industry, responsible for distributing anime the likes of Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, the Pokemon anime. Now, although RWBY isn't going to be as widely known as those series, obviously they have a little bit of a leg up on the RWBY series, the website where those series are hosted on the VIZ Media website, this is their current homepage. So a lot more eyes are going to be on RWBY with this announcement. The RWBY series is going to continue. And honestly, RWBY's future is looking quite bright. VIZ Media has also worked with RWBY in the past. They've made the likes of the RWBY manga and the manga anthologies, as well as the RWBY official companion. So they've supported RWBY in the past, and now that they've acquired the full rights to RWBY, I am certain that they're going to move forward with the RWBY series. I mean, why else would you acquire the rights to do so? So RWBY is definitely continuing. We don't know yet in what form RWBY will be continuing, but I do have some ideas based on the article that they released. I'll leave a link to that at the top of the description below, and included in that article is also a video announcement from Carrie Shawcross and Barbara Dunkelman. At the bottom of that article, they also answered a few questions that generally people might have, such as, for the RWBY socials, well, those are going to stay the same. So the Twitter account, Facebook account, etc., the accounts that you follow from the official RWBY sources, those are still going to be distributing the official RWBY news. So make sure to follow there and look out for any news that may happen. And the next questions are the most important ones and the ones that are probably most prominent in people's minds. What are the next RWBY projects, and is Volume 10 going to happen? Now, they didn't confirm anything in either of these questions. They've said that they're looking into avenues for new RWBY projects, but based on the promotional art associated with this article, I think it's pretty safe to say, I can't guarantee it, but this looks a lot like VIZO, right? And although RWBY's outfit, it's kind of difficult to tell whether it's different, Weiss's outfit is certainly different. Which, you know, makes sense if they're going to the desert, that she's not going to have the massive braid on her head anymore. Her dress looks different, it seems more open back. You know, if you're in a hot environment, that would make much more sense to have. Yang's outfit also looks different. Looks like Blake also has a couple of ear piercings now, so this is an image that seems to be in the future of where we currently are in the RWBY series. And considering the environment looks a lot like the, not necessarily barren environment of VIZO, though it is a desert, there's not going to be much plant life and things there, it does seem reminiscent of the very brief instances that we've got of VIZO. When we saw Sun and Neptune receiving RWBY's message in Volume 8, it kind of looked like the same color of terrain. So I'm pretty confident in saying this is a preview image for Volume 10, showing the new outfits of Team RWBY and indicating that RWBY will continue as it is. That we will get, at the very least, Volume 10, and with VIZ Media, we likely, I would say, depending on the success of Volume 10, of course, probably get more volumes beyond that. And I have to imagine, with the resources that VIZ Media has, if RWBY proves to be popular enough, successful enough for them, all of those people who are asking for a reboot of the RWBY series, we might get that as well. Maybe after the conclusion of the RWBY series as it is now, maybe there'll be other directions that they want to take the RWBY series with and kickstart a new one. Maybe we'll get other spin-off shows. But VIZ Media, with their history in the anime world, with such long-running series already, I think RWBY is in good hands. And some of those hands are ones that we already have come to know. Another one of the questions that was answered in this article was if any of the old team would be accompanying, well, the new team that's taking over RWBY. And they did confirm in the answer to that question that Carrie Shawcross, the showrunner and co-writer of RWBY, would be continuing on as part of the RWBY team. It didn't confirm what capacity he will be in, whether he'll be the showrunner and the head writer, leader of that team as well, or if he's going to be just a part of a different team that's going to take it over. Since Barbara Dunkelman was also in the announcement, it's very likely that at least she's going to be continuing as the voice of Yang. I'm sure that they're going to do their best to get the main voices of Team RWBY back as well. I see no reason why Team RWBY wouldn't return and reprise their roles. Same with a lot of the other voice actors. So I think largely the voice cast is probably going to stay the same, and hopefully, maybe a bit optimistically, they'll be able to bring in a number of the old staff behind the scenes to help work on the show, people who are familiar with this style of animation. Maybe the animation style of RWBY will change moving into Volume 10. There's a lot that is up in the air right now that we will have to wait and see, but all we know is that more RWBY is on the way. It may not be for another year or two, but we will get more RWBY. And that is a fact. The last few questions of the article pertain to other things that people might be curious about, but not like the main things, like, hey, is there going to be a Volume 10? What's the next RWBY project, etc. One of those questions pertained to RWBY merch. Now that the Rooster Teeth store no longer exists, hasn't been an avenue to get RWBY merch, which I'm really sad about. I missed out on getting RWBY merch before that site went down. But there's going to be more opportunities in the future. With VIZ Media acquiring an intellectual property like RWBY, it's certain that they're going to capitalize on it, and they pretty much said as much that they're going to be releasing a lot more RWBY merch. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they come up with, the designs that they choose, and eventually getting more RWBY merch in the future. They also clarified that Volumes 1 to 9 of the RWBY series, they will be distributing on DVDs and will also be putting out on a streaming service at some point in the future. Probably soon, as I'm guessing they'd want to get that out there sooner rather than later, and considering VIZ Media is a distribution company in and of itself, it probably shouldn't take them too long to get that up and running, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that have to be dealt with on the back end as well. Regardless, it's going to happen. Volume 1 to 9 will be available, and so it'll be available for us to binge watch the series again before the RWBY saga continues. The same is also true for the RWBY soundtracks. They will be available at some point in the future, and announcements are supposedly going to come shortly. The very last question from this article was what's going to happen to the Rooster Teeth subscriptions. Well, since the Rooster Teeth website has been shut down, everyone's subscriptions has already been canceled, and they've been refunded the remaining amount of their subscriptions, so that's probably just a tidy-up answer just to satiate anyone who was curious about that, if they could continue their Rooster Teeth subscription on a different website, but if a new subscription is needed, it'll just be a new subscription entirely. Regardless, this is the best news we probably could have hoped for the RWBY series. VIZ Media has RWBY plastered on their front page as their newest acquisition to their library. They seem excited to push forward with RWBY, and based on the indicators that we have, it seems that the RWBY series will be continuing from where it left off, possibly with other projects in the works as well. RWBY's future is bright, and I am so excited that RWBY will get to continue. That hopefully there'll be many more episodes to review, and there's plenty more videos I want to make before any new RWBY projects come out. There's still a lot I want to talk about with Volume 9, there's still a lot I want to talk about with other RWBY media as well, other theories, and life has been kind of busy for me to talk about. So there's still many more RWBY videos to come, both before we get any new RWBY media and plenty more after we get that as well. So make sure to subscribe if you're interested in seeing more RWBY related content. And if you want to come celebrate live, make sure to check out the link in the description below to my Twitch channel, as I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I'd love to have you there so we can celebrate the return, or rather, the continuation of this series that we love so much. Because RWBY certainly seems to be here to stay, and I couldn't be happier. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think and what you are hoping to see for the future of RWBY, because the future certainly is looking bright. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.